Life-saving moment between two strangers turned into a lifelong friendship. And years later, when one of the men decided to get married, he couldn't do it without his new friend. Ashley DiMartino shares a story that's uplifting Arizona tonight.
August 31st, 2017.
It started out a normal day, but very quickly started changing.
Mark Child left his job in Phoenix with a tightness in his chest.
Well, I made it 2 miles up the road. I pulled into a O'Reilly Auto Parts parking lot. When I got out of my car, I was bent over. And as soon as I walked to the front of the car, I collapsed with a heart attack.
An employee noticed Mark and ran to get help.
It was literally 13 seconds.
That is when a customer at the store, John Fitzpatrick, ran over.
So I ran over to him, and there was no pulse on either jugular, and he was going from gray to grayer. And then I began CPR on him.
Moments later, the fire department arrived.
So you realize life can change in a split second for people.
And Mark was rushed to the hospital and straight into surgery.
After surgery, they induced a coma for 10 days. They lowered my body temperature. And then at that point in time, they told Michelle that I only had about 5% chance to live.
His girlfriend, Michelle, was greeted by a nurse and a preacher.
We didn't have very good odds in the hospital. But I never, in my mind, went down that road. I said, well, we're gonna save him.
As Mark began his long road to recovery, they learned about what John had done. Once out of the hospital, they arranged a meeting.
It was great. We did it at a restaurant. I remember as soon as he walked in, and just grabbed him. And I didn't let go. If he hadn't done the right thing, I wouldn't be here today.
Earlier this month, Mark and Michelle decided to get married.
And then he said, well, would you come to the wedding? I said, I'd be glad to do that. So then he says, would you perform the ceremony? I said, well, you have to give me one day to think that one over.
Their officiant was John, the man who had saved Mark's life.
It was the biggest honor of all. The man responsible for me being here is the man that officiated our wedding.
Two lives forever changed by one moment, now bonded together for life.
And he's our angel.
Ashley DiMartino, ABC 15, Arizona.
Yeah, you get chills.
Yeah, forever friendship for sure.